Congress moved one step closer tonight to passing a new spending bill that would keep the government open, but the last-minute deal making is far from over. And right now, the government has until midnight Friday to avoid that shutdown. CBS 4's Stephen Seeley joins us now with more on what this would mean for us.
That's right, Nicole. The House voted to actually fund the government for less than a month. The vote prevents a shutdown, and now the ball is in the Senate's court. I spoke to a professor earlier today to find out what this means for you if the government can't find a permanent solution. A U.S. government shutdown isn't uncommon. The last government shutdown was back in 2013. And according to UT-RGV political science professor Charles Olney, it isn't as bad as it might seem.
Really, the thing that would be more worried about is the larger context, a governmental structure that regularly faces these crises and is forced to negotiate sort of on the edge.
Every year, the U.S. government needs to pass a spending bill for the fiscal year to fund all of the government programs. Usually, that bill is supposed to be passed in the fall, where the fiscal year begins. And if a bill doesn't get passed, then the programs being funded by the government get canceled.
So what we've seen is a lot of what are called continuing resolutions that just fund the government at current levels in exactly the same way for some specified amount of time.
But if the government does shut down, those wanting to go to national parks such as here in Brownsville at the Palo Alto battlefield could find the gates locked. A shutdown would greatly impact federal employees. Those classified as non-essential employees, such as national park workers or those employed in jobs that isn't crucial to national security or health, would get furloughed or placed on temporary leave. But other workers classified as essential employees like Border Patrol agents would have to come to work no matter what. But paychecks would be delayed.
The pay will freeze, and once the funding comes available again with the once the government is funded, we'll get the pay for the time that we put in and didn't get paid.
The advice that I would give is just don't stress out too much about sort of is everything going to radically change, but maybe think a little bit about if the check that you're expecting in the mail needs to come in a couple of days.
Not all government programs stop with the shutdown. The U.S. Postal Service, Social Security, and Medicare, just to name a few, will remain business as usual. Now, as for state and local governments, a potential shutdown shouldn't interrupt daily operations if the duration isn't extensive. Olney says while it is difficult to predict what could happen, he believes if a shutdown were to occur, it would only last a week or two. In the studio with complete Valley coverage, Stephen Seeley, CBS 4 Valley Tonight.